Do you trust your need to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. 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 News.
Good evening. It's time now for another, hour or so of Nailsin News. It's going to be great. There's murder, there's perverts, including anal lube on the floor, animal damn near kills somebody, and by animal, a big cat. I don't mean, Yeah, it's about a couple of little scientific things. And an update. We'll start off with an update, another pervert teacher thing. And, that ought to cover all of that good stuff. No sports, though. I didn't see the Pooper Bowl. I had to work. Well, I had to sleep and then go to work. Yeah, that's what you got to do. All right, might as well get to it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the teacher. Yeah, it's a story, All right. Sicko teacher sent student nauseating text before they had depraved hours-long sex marathon. I mean, it was already a marathon, but it went on for hours. Long hours. And it was depraved. So again, the sicko Washington State high school teacher who preyed on an underage student exchanged nauseating texts with the teen before they spent 3.5 hours having sex in her marital home, otherwise known as her home, where she lived with her husband. Yeah. So the depraved sex marathon kicked off when McKenna Kindred, now 27, invited her 17-year-old student from Spokane Central Valley High School to the house she shared with her lawyer husband, Kyle Kindred, in November. Do-do-do-do-do. Her devoted hubby was on a hunting trip. Well, she seems all happy about the situation. Anyway, the teen later told investigators he arrived at the Kindred household sometime between 6:30 and 7 p.m. And then he and Kindred began kissing while watching a movie. What kind of movie, I wonder? Yeah. Things escalated on the couch, where the two had sex for about, 10 minutes, before moving into Kindred's bedroom, where they fornicated until around 10 p.m. that evening. They eventually finished and then hung out back in the living room before taking a shower. Well, that's nice they cleaned up. The boy finally left the house around 11:30 p.m. There she is, and her husband wearing her slippers, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, the pair's inappropriate relationship had taken off months earlier, in June, when the teen found Kindred's Instagram account sparking a series of sexually explicit text messages, pictures, and videos between them. Around the time Kindred, then 23, had sex with the student, he sent her a message saying, "Mom, glad I can satisfy you." Ew. The educator reportedly liked the message, prompting the teen to ask if she had used a sex toy while thinking about him. "I did," she replied. "You should have a video. Should have video it. You should have videoed it and save it." The teen responded. To which Kindred said, "Next time I need to relearn Snapchat. Ha ha." As rumors about their perverted relationship began to spread around the skew, the boys' friends shared screenshots. Of course they did. Yes. First thing he's gonna do. "Yeah, look what I'm banging. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Miss Kindred is nasty." Dude. Every time. As rumors about their the boys' friends shared screenshots of the racy messages with school officials in December. Other texts from Kindred read, "I want you to be in my room. I really like being touched by you." The student's mother, Ashley Beckley, reportedly provided further evidence of the teacher's crimes, telling investigators she had seen photos Kindred had sent the boy of her breasts, as well as an explicit video of him that her son had messaged her. Beckley also knew about the sex toy texts. Oh boy. Kindred was arrested and confessed to first-degree sexual misconduct in March 2024. She avoided jail time, but was ordered to serve 2 years of probation, pay $700 in fines, and register as a sex offender for 10 years. 3 months after Kindred sobbed in court as she pled guilty to the sex crimes, she and her head-scratchingly devoted husband relocated to Kuna, Idaho. It's unclear whether the disgraced educator has worked since voluntarily surrendering. She had to volunteer. Take it away. She, surrendering her teacher license in response to the Idaho Standards Commission's probe. Well, this isn't much of an update. It's just other details about the crime. This isn't a new story. I just wasted my time on this. You bitch. You suckered me in again. Oh, well. There you go. Gee, I hope she learns her lesson, huh? Yeah. Let's hope everyone learned the lesson. Susan Dole, you sound a lot better, Doug. Yes. It took a while, but I somehow recovered. Then I read this. Oh, well. It's Nailsin News, you know. All right, what's the next one? Oh, yeah, this thing. Boy, can't people just go to Yelp or something like that? But, well, unhinged mom fires handgun, throws bowl of soup at server in wild sushi restaurant meltdown. So, I guess the food was that bad. I don't know. A deranged St. Louis mother opened fire and hurled a bowl of soup inside suburban Missouri's sushi restaurant after allegedly hearing racial slurs through a translation feature on her headphones and also having problems with her food order. Aaliyah in Moorhead, 31, was inside the Kirkwood Eatery with her 9-year-old child and another adult woman where police say she became agitated over an issue with her order. Wasabi Sushi Bar staff offered to fix the order, but Moorhead began swearing at a server and was promptly asked to leave. Moorhead then threw a bowl of soup at the server, striking him and other people inside of the restaurant. The male employee tried to block himself from Moorhead's onslaught with a chair, but she grabbed it and threw it. The unhinged woman then took out a 9mm Glock handgun and said to the employee, "You're going to get it," before firing a single shot in his direction shortly after 8:30 p.m. At the time of the shooting, Moorhead's daughter was walking between her mother and the server. Good Lord, the shot missed the server and went through a refrigerator, striking a wall. No one was reported injured from the shooting. Yeah, thanks to, dumb luck, Moorhead later told local cops that she believed the restaurant staff were rude to her and her family on arrival, and that she had overheard the chefs making racial and derogatory comments about herself and her family in Spanish. Spanish? So wasabi sushi bun. Well, okay. Through a translation feature on her AirPods. Oh, well. Bring out the Glock, Police said the restaurant manager told officers that the woman and her family drove away in a white SUV, which was located a short time later by police, and the occupants of the vehicle were detained. Moorhead, her child, and the other adult woman were identified by police after reviewing the restaurant's security footage. Well, the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office charged the reckless mother with first-degree assault, armed criminal possession, unlawful use of a weapon, endangering the welfare of a child, to say the least, and first-degree property damage. She's being held on $150,000 cash-only bond at the St. Louis County Justice Center, and it is not known when she'll appear next in court. Yeah, well, that's her problem, isn't it? Oh, boy, she felt they were rude. That's not necessarily saying they were. She says she heard something nasty, racial, on her AirPods in the translation. So, is that a mitigating circumstance, Hey, look, you said a naughty word, so she's going to throw soup at you, a chair, and then shoot at you through her own daughter. Case closed, acquittal, Yeah, no, I don't think so. No. You go to a restaurant, you expect a certain, a pleasant time. And when things don't go quite your way, you do get upset. It does happen. But you just leave, You can't shoot people. I don't care what they said. And certainly not with your daughter in the way. Oh, well. But again, it's another one of these stories that, gee, I hope everyone learned from this. Oh, geez, Louise. Her name wasn't Louise, but yeah. Who the hell was Louise? Louise. Is that where that began? Was there someone named Louise and like her husband was complaining about her and, geez, Louise? Or is it just because geez rhymes with Louise? See? You learned. We all learned. Together. Wall Streeter and Epstein acquaintance Jeffrey Leeds accuses wife of torrid affair, leaving lube around in vicious divorce. See, he didn't write this right. You know, he's accusing her of leaving lube around after, obviously, you know, cheating on him and all that, but not around the proceedings of the divorce. You know, like the wife just keeps dumping lube all over the courtroom and the table at the attorney's office, all that. A vicious, high-stakes divorce is unfolding in 3 states between private equity honcho and Jeffrey Epstein. Go ahead and got to fit that in there. Jeffrey Leeds and his much younger wife, Elizabeth, with bitter accusations flying about paramours, sex toys, and misspent millions. At stake is $100 million in real estate alone. A $22 million 14-room pad at famed 740 Park Avenue on the Upper East Side, and $23.5 million 11-bed, 12.5 bath spread in Southampton, and a $35.6 million manse in Palm Beach. Elizabeth Leeds, 43, is accused by her 69-year-old husband of having a long affair with and being impregnated by Miami businessman Alberto Alejandro Tawil, 66. Boy, she likes them old, huh? Oh, wait. It's the money, isn't it? Yeah. Look at them. This is when they were in love, you know. That's sad. You sneaked out the day I left to fuck that idiot loser, the husband wrote to Elizabeth in a scathing February 2025 email exchange included in their ongoing Palm Beach County divorce filings. He referred to Leeds' unnamed lover. Well, we named him earlier. It's Alejandro. Yeah, Alberto. Yeah. Well, that's out of the bag. Or maybe there's another one. Anyway, this was included in their ongoing Palm Beach County divorce filings. He referred to Leeds' unnamed lover as a loser, grifter, real estate mogul, and another blistering missive. He claimed his wife used marital money, meaning the money they share, to plunge more than $275,000 into one of Tawil's businesses. Wow. So she's spending the money on him, trying to buy him. Wow, that's it's usually the other way around, you know. She's supposed to be the young chick that, 43, but he's 66, so still, Anyway, is one of his businesses in Mozambique to pay for her beau's household staff of 21 and to buy erotic gifts. Just leave us alone and come visit every now and then. You're a part-time mother anyway, he once texted her, referencing their 2 kids. Oh, geez. Stop leaving your watercolors of cocksucking around where the kids can see them, good Lord, and your crotchless underwear on the floor for everyone to see, and your anal lubricant around. Jeez. She's a bit of a slob as well as a whore, Leeds, whose name appears in the Justice Department's Epstein document. Is this how they met, I mean, she's in her 40s now, but oh, jeez. Well, at least he put a ring on it, Anyway, Department dumped dozens of times, was quoted in a now infamous 2002 New York Magazine profile of Epstein titled Jeffrey Epstein, International Money Man of Mystery. You may read about Jeffrey in the social columns, but there is much more to him than that, Leeds gushed about the pedophile. He's a talented money manager and an extremely hard-working person with broad interests. Yeah. He knows how to pick them, doesn't he? Oh, wait, this is the boyfriend, Alejandro. Anyway, in one email, power publicist Peggy Siegel lists Leeds as a smart investor and knows politics, while in another missive, Next Model Management founder Faith Cates wrote to Epstein about Leeds. Did you know your friend Jeffrey Leeds got married Friday? She wrote on March 18th, 2012, 3 days after his wedding to Elizabeth. Finally, Epstein's ex-girlfriend, physician, and former model Ava Dubbin also wrote to the financier about Leeds. Jeff Leeds says hello. She emailed in September 2012. Boy, that's fascinating. Anyway, Leeds has not been accused of any misconduct in connection to Epstein. Mr. Leeds has no professional or personal relationship with Epstein. Well, I guess not. He's dead. Or is he? His lawyer, Peter Trombador, said in a statement, "No one has suggested otherwise, and any such claims would be utterly false and defamatory." The two may have met in passing, though Mr. Leeds has no recollection of any such meeting. The attorney added, insisting Leeds never went to Mr. Epstein's office or any of his homes, was never on his plane or his island. In her own Palm Beach County filings, Elizabeth claimed her estranged husband has exerted financial warfare. Oh, he took the credit card away, huh? Yeah, upon her, and is harassing her friends, including her boyfriend and New York jeweler Ann Baker, with unnecessary and intimidating subpoenas. The husband claimed the jeweler sold Elizabeth a $225,500 diamond and platinum chain, a $98,000 Georgian diamond collet set necklace, and a $68,000 emerald-cut diamond bracelet. And they have information about the wife's affair. Okay. Jeffrey has stalked his spouse and screamed at and followed her during one of the kids' school events. Throughout these proceedings, the husband has sent text messages of naked photographs he has taken of her to harass and embarrass her. Well, I mean, just to her. You know, if he's sending it to friends and stuff, then that's revenge porn, and you can nail him on that. But otherwise, I'm sorry, no. Anyway, he even stole and photographed her journal. Yeah, but you know, you're in the same household and everything. I don't know. You're not going to be. Anyway, I had a loving and long-term relationship. A loving relationship with someone I have known for a long time. Okay, a long-term, long-loving. Get it together. And I had a miscarriage. She said of her relationship with. So you had a miscarriage with him. So your long-term relationship you're gloating about is with the boyfriend. I don't see how that helps your case. The Leeds are locked in legal combat in Florida, Wyoming, and Manhattan as their acrimonious split has dragged on for months. They married in a March 2012 Manhattan ceremony presided over by former Mayor Rudy Giuliani. At the time, Jeffrey gave his new bride $1 million to use as she wished, and she apparently uses it on Alberto, you know. His Leeds equity partners has more than $4 billion in assets under management. The husband's current net worth is unclear, but a prenup okay, indicated he had $90 million in assets before they married. Okay, well, at least he got that, you know. She going to try to contest that when she's the one cheating and everything? leaving anal lube on the floor. Anyway, Jeffrey filed to divorce Elizabeth in Palm Beach, Florida in January 2025. Days later, Elizabeth, who had taken their 2 young kids and moved to Wyoming 4 months earlier, filed her own case against him in the equality state. The couple bought their 5-bedroom in the Park Avenue pre-war building, considered one of the Big Apple's most elite addresses, in 2016 for $22.5 million and have put it back on the market. The Hamptons home, which sits on 4.6 acres, was once owned by the Carnegie family. Their Palm Beach property, an 11,567 square foot manse on a 1.3 acre lot, a block from the ocean, is currently being rented. Oh, well, see, they're making some money off the property as well. That's nice. Elizabeth requests that the press and the public let this matter proceed privately. Too late, especially for the sake of the party's 2 young children. Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't have left all that stuff on the floor. Other than that, she will not be making any comments at this time, said Richard Siegel, a lawyer for the wife. This is a private matter, Leeds lawyer Trombador said. Well, not anymore. It really isn't. Sorry, that's the way this goes. It's tough, isn't it? But what are you going to do? Mr. Leeds asked that his privacy and that of his family during the challenging time be respected as he works to resolve issues amicably. It's not going to be amicable. That ship sailed and focuses on the best interest of the children. Yeah, well, yeah, they're going to suffer. It's already a done deal as far as that goes. Your best bet is to try to get this over as soon as possible and move on. Anyway, we are not going to address specific allegations outside of court, except to state that they are completely without merit and denied. Now, wait a minute. Well, that's his lawyer. So what are the allegations against him so far? She just says he stalked me and yelled at me and stuff like that. The allegations against you are a lot worse. Here you are, you're gloating about the boyfriend and everything. A lawyer for Tawil? Maybe it's Towel. I don't know. Didn't respond for a request for comment. Well, yeah, I mean, what can he say? Well, I was getting some on the side. Plus, she paid me. She paid this guy. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe Alberto is quite the charmer, Could be, Usually, like I said, it's the other way around, But in this case, something about Alberto. He was quite the prize for the soon-to-be former Mrs. Leeds. Susan Dola says, dumping lube must have gone to Diddy parties. Probably, yeah. But there was no baby oil, But, well, whoops. There we go. So, gee, let's hope that all worked out, I mean, it's too late. It didn't. That stuff about, gee, we don't want the kids to suffer. Yeah, too late for that. Anyway, skier mauled by... Let me try again. Skier mauled by snow leopard after getting too close for a picture. And, they're not kitty cats. And, they don't want their picture taken. So back off. Snow meow. A female skier was mauled by a snow leopard after getting too close to try to take a photo, with a chilling video capturing her being led away with blood pouring from her face. The footage shows the victim lying prone in the snow, wearing a purple ski suit after the animal mauled her. in Funyun County at the northern Chinese border with Mongolia. She is seen being taken away from the scene with blood pouring from her face. So there's Snow Meow. I can see him in the picture chowing down on the lady. And then I guess he noticed someone else is taking his picture, getting upset. And I guess they saved her or whatever. Anyway, the tourist had spotted the rare big cat in the snow and had gotten within 10 feet of it to take a picture. A ski instructor eventually chased the snow leopard away by waving his poles. Oh, you mean, yeah, the ski poles. The victim was saved from more serious injuries by her ski helmet. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, the cat was trying to bite down on that. But still had to be rushed to a local hospital where she is said to be in stable condition. It comes as Chinese authorities have issued a warning to visitors of multiple recent snow leopard sightings in the area. It's not like the snow leopard was hiding behind the trees and stalking the lady and she had no idea and then suddenly jumps out, and gets her. No, she saw a snow leopard trotting along through the snow and decided, I got to get this picture. And now, I don't know, she may not have a face left, Snow leopards are large predators with strong aggressive tendencies, the warning said. When passing through this area, please move quickly and do not linger. Do not get out of your vehicle or approach to take photos, and never walk alone in the surrounding area. The visitor had been staying near the Kekatohai UNESCO Global Geopark in Xinjiang. A snow leopard had been spotted by visitors close to a nearby guest house to try to get food. We saw it last night, a few kilometers from where the attack took place, but we can't confirm if it's the same snow leopard. No, yeah. China is home to around 60% of the world's wild snow leopard population. Well, there you go. You got to expect it, I mean, there's snow leopards. They're going to go where there's snow. Although only 4,000 to 6,500 of the creatures are believed to remain worldwide. So they're mostly still in China. Snow leopard attacks on humans are extremely rare due to the creature's shy and elusive nature. See, they're shy. More of the reason not to take their picture. They really don't like that. I mean, I don't know. Perhaps it's one of those things where snow leopards think you're trying to capture their soul. Remember that? People would take pictures of tribesmen and stuff, and they didn't like it because they thought you were capturing their soul. So it could be Snow Meow thinks you're trying to capture his soul, which is stupid because he doesn't have one. He's just some dumb cat. So anyway, stay away from Snow Meow. Yeah. Okay, what's the next one? That's it for Kitty. Oh yeah, here's another one of these embarrassing stories. Striking underling married top presidential advisor resign as sex tape scandal rocks Montenegro. Two top Montenegro officials resigned in disgrace after a sex tape was leaked showing the pair getting hot and heavy together, with the former lovers later accusing each other of blackmail in a lewd scandal that's gripped the Balkan nation. Marjana Pajovic, Montenegro's glamorous director general for the promotion and protection of human rights, announced her resignation following former presidential advisor Dejan Vukisic his resignation. The pair were caught bumping uglies on a video leaked online, though it remains unclear when their affair happened. But Vuksic is married, while Pajkovic is known for flaunting her looks in sultry photos on social media and beyond. So, OnlyFans on the way. It remains unclear how their sex tape was leaked. I wonder who would want to do, But Pajkovic accused Vuksic of blackmailing her with the video to keep her quiet about their affair. Well, leaking it doesn't help that. Now everybody knows. So that's really a stupid way to blackmail anybody. You got to, I'll keep this secret, but you got to pay me, stupid. But then when you put it out online, it's like, I'm not going to pay you, idiot. Now everybody knows. Huh? Oh, damn it. Anyway, that my boss would see something that compromised me, where he clearly and directly threatened me that he had compromising material for me. Why did I keep quiet at that moment? Pajkovic said. But you didn't want him to know about the affair, I guess. Pajkovic claimed she was unaware of the footage Vuksic was allegedly blackmailing her with. Again, how can he blackmail you? If you didn't know he had any footage, I mean, as he said, I'm going to tell everybody we did it, and you could just say, he's full of crap. He must be obsessed with me or something. This doesn't work. But feared he would harm her because of his powerful government position. When I myself was exposed to the extreme violence that I posted on social networks, where the first person next to the president of the country, the first former person of the National Security Agency, very persistently and at length during the entire conversation, told me that there would be no place for me and no life in Montenegro, Pajkovic said. She even suggested the nation's president jack off. Jack-off Militovic was aware of Vuksic's threats against her, but failed to intervene. Pajkovic's resignation statement also encouraged every woman to stand up for themselves when threatened, especially if they very clearly want to destroy your life on all four grounds. Jeez, lady. For example, when someone is blackmailing you, someone more powerful will ask you for a favor, some behavior that you do not want at that moment. And if you refuse to do it, you will be handed over to someone who is the embodiment of the highest state authority. No one will physically hit you. This is the 21st century. But they very clearly want to destroy your life on all grounds. So, wait, is she saying that the affair was he blackmailed her into it? But no, earlier she said she didn't know he had any footage. She also filed a criminal complaint against Vuksic alleging unauthorized distribution of an explicit photo of her. Well, yeah, that would be the revenge porn thing. But then, did he release it? I'm beginning to wonder here. But Vuksic claims Pajkovic isn't so innocent in all of this, alleging she used a recording of him speaking ill of her over the phone to blackmail him into withdrawing a judge's candidacy from the Constitutional Court. Uh-oh. Vuksic filed his own criminal complaints against Pajkovic over his alleged use of the phone call recording. He even alleged that Pajkovic used the threat of the phone call recording as leverage in one of her criminal complaints. Both have denied the other's accusations. I reject all inaccurate, incomplete, and tendentious allegations by which, without evidence, responsibility is being attributed to me for the violation of Podkovic's privacy and the distribution of the disputed recordings. I saw that content for the first time only when it began to circulate illegally on social networks. Vuxic charged. That could be. Because again, this could be the launch of her OnlyFans career, you know. So anyway, there you go. Idiot had an affair with this busty lady and didn't realize. I don't know. Something's set up here. And she's not really clear on what the blackmail is, especially if she's claiming she didn't know that there was any footage of them, making the beast with two backs and that sort of thing. Whereas he's claiming she blackmailed him with the recording of him that she used to thwart the candidacy of a judge. So he's got a little more there. Whereas I don't even know what the blackmail was. And then I kind of, in the reading of it, is she saying that she was blackmailed into the sex by him just with the threat of, I could ruin your career if you don't do it. Yeah, maybe. And then that's why she taped it as leverage. But then she uses a phone conversation she had with him of him cussing her out or whatever. Said, I'll leak it if you appoint that judge. I don't like him or whatever. Probably like someone else. That kind of thing. And I guess that's how it unfolded. Whatever. He's out. It's done. And if there's means by which to finally prove who released the footage, then I guess if they have revenge porn laws there as well, then I guess you got him on that. Provided it was him. Yeah. Who the hell knows? You see, that's why you can't do stuff like that. But they did. Oh, wait. I still don't know. Okay, it'll be this one. Yeah, and it's really sad because they were obviously so much in love. But it could be worse. So much worse. Cold-blooded 23-year-old chopped off 55-year-old boyfriend's head after 2 months of dating and left his decapitated body in her home. Like a trophy? Yeah, it's really too bad how this didn't work out. 23 and 55. Oh, boy, there. You can see her in her mugshot. That's the crazy eyes. Yeah. He wasn't looking at those, though. A cold-blooded 23-year-old woman from California decapitated her 55-year-old boyfriend with a knife after dating him for just 2 months, and then left his headless body inside her home while she fled to Mexico. Alyssa Marie Lira, an exotic dancer from Anaheim, spent the last 5 months on the run after killing Enrique Gonzalez Carbajal in August 2025 and then fleeing south of the border. Authorities tracked her down and arrested her on January 22nd, with charges being filed for felony murder and felony enhancement of personally using a weapon. Well, these are always odd. I guess it racks up the charges and that bolsters the case or something, but of course it is a weapon. Even if it's poison or something. Still, whatever. Anyway, it's just a testament to our never-ending pursuit of justice and bringing her back and making sure she's held accountable. Director of Public Affairs Kimberly Eds said, this was somebody who was in a dating relationship with Gonzalez Carbajal, who you would assume had some kind of feelings for him. And then for her to be able to engage in that level of just heinous violence, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for the victim. Well, yeah, it's heartbreaking for the victim's family. According to the DA's office, Gonzalez Carbajal was located inside Lyra's home, and local police were called to the scene. They received the call on August 25th, 2025, just after 2 p.m. Anaheim Public Information Officer Matt Sutter said an investigation was launched, and it was very quickly determined that she, Lyra, had immediately fled to Mexico. She told Law and Crime it was a knife. Okay, Lyra used a knife allegedly to behead Gonzalez Carbajal, but couldn't say what kind of knife. This poor human was brutalized, Eds said. Anaheim police detectives were working with the DA's Organized Crime Unit, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI's Assistant Legal Attaches in Mexico, as well as Mexican authorities to locate and arrest Lyra in connection with the alleged murder. She was returned to the United States, said Eds, noting how Gonzalez Carbajal's family was notified after Lyra's arrest. This is just a traumatic situation for everyone, for his family, his friends, for everyone. Prosecutors and authorities have not yet released a motive. Lyra is, being held without bail. Hopefully she remains in custody. Well, I would think so. I mean, you gotta... she beheaded the guy. Speaking in a statement, Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer described how nothing, not time, not distance, not distance, not foreign borders prevented authorities from dragging down and capturing Lyra. And they're all proud that they came together to get her. So they got her, and she's sitting in jail. So what could have been the motive? You think Gonzalez cheated on her? Yeah? Or, I don't know, she wanted another gift of some sort, and he said, no. How was that? I don't know. I'm sure she'll come in with all kinds of stories of abuse and stuff, and then it's like, well, did you reach out? Did you tell anybody? Probably not. You can see it in the eyes again. I think she's nuts. So I think that explains the whole thing. Maybe not all of it, but a good bit. A good bit. Susan Dolas, maybe she couldn't stand to be parted from him. Oh, to keep him in the house like that. D-Rec 13, she was just trying to get ahead. Oh, yeah. Susan responds with laughing emojis. D-Rec, badumts. Yeah. So anyway, there we go. That's the end of that sad love story. Is it always that bad? Maybe other love stories can have better outcomes. And, well. Woman asked husband to look at something in garage so she could shoot him with his Ruger pistol. A Pennsylvania woman is accused of luring her husband into a trap in their garage and then trying to shoot and kill him before he managed to escape. Heather Crawford, 42, faces a multitude of charges, including attempted criminal homicide, 2 counts of aggravated assault, making terroristic threats, and recklessly endangering another person. Authorities contend that on Sunday at their home in the 200 block of Woodlawn Avenue, the defendant and her husband got into a heated argument, and she pointed his Ruger handgun at him. She then hid the weapon after the quarrel died down. Okay. Well, as Monday rolled around, her resentment apparently continued. Crawford reportedly lured her husband into their home's garage, asking him to look at something, and once he entered, She stood in front of the doorway and pointed the Ruger at him from her waist. He stayed in the home with her after she had pulled the gun on him before. However, the husband is said to have picked up on what was happening. Finally. And managed to push past his wife and get out of the garage. As he did this, Crawford allegedly fired at least 2 shots, with one hitting him through the garage door and another hitting her husband's jacket, tearing the zipper. Well, she's going to have to buy him a new jacket. That's for damn sure. Physically, he was unharmed, authorities said, and he contacted the Martinsburg Borough Police Department to tell officers that his wife tried to kill him. Crawford admitted to this. When asked why she attempted to kill him, Crawford reportedly responded, "He was evil and had to die." Officers said they responded to the home and found the handgun, spent shell casings inside and outside the garage, and damage to the garage door. Crawford was denied bail during her preliminary arraignment. Martinsburg is a borough in central Pennsylvania, located around 100 miles east of Pittsburgh, in case you want to visit. Well, I don't think they should stay together. That's just my opinion. Yeah, she had to get up a lot earlier in the morning to pull the wool over her husband's eyes. Huh? Hey, I think I know what's going on here. Jeez. All right, whatever. But, well, I guess that's how that went. But at least he survived. It's not as bad as that other story. Not as bad. Meanwhile, in politics, feds nab cross-dressing Antifa terrorists who threatened to kill ICE officers in Minneapolis. So there's his self-portrait. Yeah. Federal authorities arrested Kyle Wagner, a cross-dressing Antifa terrorist who allegedly threatened to assault, kill, and dox officers in Minneapolis. The Justice Department with ICE, HSI, arrested a self-identified anti-ICE Antifa terrorist in Minneapolis. Conspire and threaten to to assault, kill, and dox officers, and you'll find yourself in federal custody facing the full force of justice, said Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Following the fatal shooting of anti-ICE activist Alex Pretty in Minneapolis, Wagner allegedly told his followers to take up arms and attack law enforcement. Show up ready to go. Not talking about peaceful protests anymore, Wagner said, calling on peoples to march with guns and saying the Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep you fucking protected from literal fucking Nazi gunmen. Boy, all of a sudden a lot of proponents of the Second Amendment from the left these days. Get your fucking guns and stop these fucking people, he added. Wagner was also seen in videos wearing women's clothing. In one video, he traded his tactical wear for a red spaghetti strap dress, hoop earrings, oh, that's appropriation, and heeled boots. I do this all year, all the time, he said. I do this for me. I like to get real clean, okay, and pretty, and go out and shoot pool or get dinner and go dance. He had been using the platform to incite violence against ICE agents, raise money to fund riots. Nice to see reason. This is the Instagram or no, Twitter. Anyway, the self-described Antifa member also begged his followers for cash. Yeah, that's always the case. You know? I mean, he's spending all this time prancing around in a dress and then the rest of the time chasing around ICE agents and threatening them and, you know, trying to get people to kill him and stuff. He just doesn't have time for a job. My link to my Venmo is in my bio. It's an emergency freedom and defense fund. No, it's for his rent. I'm not going to tell you what I'm spending my money on. Of course not. Well, you know, hoop earrings and high heels. I'm not going to tell you why I need you to give me large sums of money right now. I just want you to understand that this is an actual guerrilla war in our streets now. They're using live ammunition to kill our citizens. I need everyone to show up fully prepared, whatever that means to you, to whatever degree you can. His Venmo account was soon flooded with supporters who sent notes reading, "For protecting women and children," and "Give them hell." Wagner's Instagram account was subsequently deleted, and he was also removed from Facebook and TikTok. Yeah. But some idiots thought, this is a guy I can support. I'm going to send him money. Even though he said, hey, don't ask what the money's for. You know, I got to go shopping at Victoria's Secret and stuff. It doesn't look like much, but damn, some of that underwear is expensive. Come on, y'all. I'm trying to win a war here. So anyway, there you go. Minneapolis. What's this one? Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Sometimes some things are just too embarrassing. Yeah, okay. Assistant principal accused of swiping 98 items from Walmart using brazen self-checkout scheme. A Georgia elementary school assistant principal has been accused of brazenly stealing 98 items worth about $1,000 from Walmart using a stacking scheme at self-checkout kiosks. Courtney Janelle Shaw, 47, was arrested by the Cherokee Sheriff's Office after authorities were alerted that she had been swiping merchandise from the resale giant in Woodstock, about 30 miles outside Atlanta, for more than 2 months. Shaw, an assistant principal at Free Home Elementary School, allegedly stole 98 items valued at $943.97 from Walmart between November and December. Well, you know, for the holidays. That's what she was doing. And then, oh well, I guess she got caught. Yeah. Investigators said Shaw was used a stacking method at self-checkout kiosks, placing multiple items on top of one another and scanning only one before leaving the store. Oh, wow. Is that how that works? A Walmart employee provided authorities with surveillance footage of the alleged thefts on January 12th and used a driver's license database to identify Shaw as the suspect. Authorities said 2 suspicious vehicles seen in the surveillance footage, a 2018 Ford F-150 and a duty Jeep Grand Cherokee, were registered to Shaw and later located at her residence. Shaw was booked into the Cherokee County Jail and charged with 1 felony count of shoplifting. The mother of 1 was released later that day on a $4,000, $875 bond. Well, all right then. Officials at Free Home Elementary School in Cherokee County said Shaw had been placed on administrative leave. Yeah, look, it's the best they can do, you know, union rules and stuff. Immediately upon these allegations being reported, the employee was placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of internal and law enforcement investigations. Maintaining the safety and security of our students and staff is our top priority, and inappropriate conduct will never be tolerated. Thank God it didn't involve sex. The veteran educator's career spans more than 2 decades and includes leadership roles as an assistant principal at 2 other elementary schools. Her career began as a 5th grade teacher in North Carolina before teaching multiple grades in Florida. After transitioning into educational leadership in 2012 as assistant principal at Oak Grove Fine Arts Academy, Shaw was appointed assistant principal at Bascom Elementary in 2006, a role she held for 8 years. In 2024, Shaw joined Free Home. See, the word free threw her. She probably thought the stuff was free. At the school's first full-time assistant principal, bringing 24 years of educational experience. The school praised Shaw on its website, writing, "She brings a wealth of experience and dedication to her role as assistant principal at Free Home." Shaw is not the first high-ranking school official accused of using Walmart self-checkout to steal items. In Florida, Buck Academy North Principal Gregory Lewis was at a Walmart in Polk County in March 2025 when an asset protection officer observed him skip scanning at the self-checkout. He just didn't want to pay. Nope, he didn't. And neither did she. One wonders, how many times has she done this? How long has this gone on? I don't know. It's probably a bunch of useless crap, too, just stupid. Just did it for the thrill of the steal. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. That's that idiot. And wasn't there another? No, that's it. Okay, cool. I'm moving right along. Well, a lot of couples, they want to start a family and raise kids and all that good stuff. And sometimes there's troubles. And so oftentimes you talk to your doctor and look for possible solutions to make this happen. Well, sometimes it doesn't quite work out the way you thought. White couple sues fertility clinic after mom gives birth to non-Caucasian child in embryo mix-up. Whoops. A Florida couple is alleging in a lawsuit that a fertility clinic may have mixed up embryos. Which led to the birth of a baby girl that was not biologically theirs. The couple filed the lawsuit in Orange County Circuit Court against IVF Life Incorporated, which is located in the Orlando area, and its lead reproductive endocrinologist, Dr. Milton McNichol. While the lawsuit names the couple as John and Jane Doe and the child Baby Doe, the Orlando Sentinel identified them as Tiffany Score and Stephen Mills. So much for the does. Anyway, in vitro fertilization is when a woman's eggs are fertilized with a man's sperm and are stored until the couple is ready for pregnancy. According to the lawsuit, the couple placed 3 viable embryos in cryogenic storage in the clinic implanted one of those embryos in Score's uterus in April 2025. And according to the complaint, she gave birth to a beautiful, healthy female child. But the couple noticed something was amiss right away. Tragically, while both Jane Doe and John Doe are racially Caucasian, Baby Doe displayed the physical appearance of a racially non-Caucasian child. Testing confirmed that the baby had no genetic relationship to either parent, which proved the embryo implanted in Score was not the one she and her husband produced. Of equal concern to the plaintiffs is the obvious possibility that someone else was implanted with one or more of their embryos and is pregnant with, or has been pregnant with, and is presently parenting one or more of their children. One of the couple's lawyers, John Scarola, sent the clinic a letter on January 5th about the situation and demanded they cooperate in uniting Bebedo with their genetic parents and determine what happened to his client's embryos. The new parents had an intensely strong emotional bond with their unborn child during pregnancy, and even though they are raising a child who is not biologically related to them, they would willingly keep the girl. Well, at least there's that. But Score and Mills recognize the girl should legally and morally be united with her genetic parents, so long as they are fit, able, and willing to take her. Both plaintiffs and the defendants held an emergency court hearing per the Mara Hatfield, another plaintiff attorney, reportedly told a judge the mix-up could have occurred when the couple submitted the embryo in duty, or when Score was injected in duty 5. They want the clinic to pay for genetic testing for patients going back 5 years. However, the attorney for the clinic, Francis Pierce III, raised privacy concerns for the clinic's other patients. Patients would have to agree to be tested, reportedly said. Judge Margaret Schreiber ordered the clinic to submit detailed plans on how it is addressing the situation. According to the Sentinel, the clinic had a notice on its website that said it is actively cooperating with an investigation to support one of our patients in determining the source of an error that resulted in the birth of a child who was not genetically related to them. The notice has since been taken down. During the hearing, Scarola said, while the situation is unusual, the clinic made a horrendous error. Neither McNichol nor Scarola immediately returned a message for comment. Well, they didn't want to be identified in the first place, but, well, they're identified. Yeah. Well, whoopsie, and whoopsies happen, But, boy, I wonder where their embryos went, It's probably, and then, if it's like, if the embryos were implanted in, some white recipients, they're not even going to notice. Maybe not. You think he kind of looks like Uncle John, maybe? Kind of. Not really. But he's only related to us by marriage. Oh, yeah. It's so, And it's not like I thought maybe this, they were having problems and so they needed in vitro fertilization to make it happen. But no, they just wanted to put it off till later. Well, you're playing with forces you do not understand or whatever. Anyway, it didn't work out. And somehow, some way they noticed there was a problem. So, good luck. But at least said, all right, we'll keep her if nobody else wants her. But poor kid. Man accused of performing sexual acts with vacuum cleaner at Florida resort. Well, sometimes this happens. A man has been arrested for exposing his genitals while allegedly performing sexual acts with a vacuum cleaner at a resort. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office announced that 51-year-old Kevin Dale Westerhold was arrested, charged with exposure of sexual organs. On January 22nd, deputies had responded to a residence in Windsor Hills Resort after receiving reports of a man exposing himself with a vacuum cleaner. Witnesses reportedly provided statements and video footage from their phones, but the suspect had left the area before officers arrived. A deputy canvassed the area and received similar reports and ring camera footage of the man exposing himself in shared hallways. Residents had been reporting incidents to the Homeowners Association since December. Authorities then determined the suspect was Westerhold, who owns a home and an Airbnb property with his wife at the resort. A warrant was issued for his arrest, and he was taken into custody. So he was running around exposing himself to the Ring cameras and all that. And they said, hey, that looks like what's his face? And Kevin. Yeah. And I guess he was dragging a vacuum cleaner with him. Yeah. He's like, he rings the bell. Look at this. I don't know. In Kissimmee, Florida. Oh. Okay. Well. Man, I don't know. He's thinking, the suction on a vacuum cleaner, it sucks and hard. Yeah, sometimes they're really powerful. What if it rips it off? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Yeah. But this is just as hilarious, almost. Not as much, probably, but still. Dumbass. Oh, boy, I had to call the wife, They saw me with the vacuum cleaner. My vacuum cleaner again? Yeah. I'm sorry, honey. I'll change it. No, you won't. You won't. Oh, wow. Romantic is busted over stripper gifts. Oh, well. Getting a jump on Valentine's Day. A misguided romantic passed $300 in counterfeit currency to purchase a floral bouquet and chocolates for the object of his affections, a dancer at a Florida strip club. Is in love with a stripper. Investigators allege that Alexander Baker Depew, 32, used the funny money at a Clearwater, Florida. The accused man handed over $15 $20 bills to cover his $288 purchase. It was only after Baker Depew departed that a worker realized that the bills were fake, marked with the word replica and the notation that the item was not legal tender and only to be used for motion pictures. Yeah, when you see heist films and bank robbery stuff and that kind of thing in movies, all that money flying around, yeah, it's not real. And that's true. You look at them, because people try to pass those off at the store. It says, for use only in motion pictures on it, Plus, the little marker turns black when you mark it. Yep. Anyway, after leaving the florist, Baker Depew headed to the nearby Oasis Cabaret, which advertises itself as a topless, full-contact entertainment facility and employs the woman he fancied. While at the strip club, Baker Depew allegedly tried to pay his bar tab with phony 20s, which resulted in police being called to the adult establishment. Baker Depew, who told cops he did not realize the cash was counterfeit, had about $400 more in phony currency in his pockets. Well, who put that there? We may never know. When questioned about his bouquet chocolates purchase, Baker Depew reportedly admitted to obtaining the merchandise from the florist in order to give it to a female dancer at a strip club. But of course, the strip club, they don't put up with that fake money crap, you understand? We don't like that kind of crap down here. Court records do not indicate what, if any, relationship existed between the dancer and the defendant. He was the customer. She's a dancer. She doesn't know him at all. He's just some dumb idiot. And he's listed as a transient. Okay, here you go. Well, no wonder. He doesn't have any means by which to achieve $400. But then again, he got the movie money. I wonder if he, was a laborer on a site that was being set up for a shoot, and there was the fake money laying around, and he stuffed a bunch of it in his pants. Maybe that's how he got it, Anyway, in addition to charges for passing the prop currency, Baker Depute was hit with other felony counts when a frisk turned up cocaine and methamphetamine. Well, he's in jail in lieu of $20,000 bond. He won't be able to pay that with the, movie money. I mean, I assume. I mean, if a strip joint can, be on the double about that sort of thing, you would hope that the court would also say, hey, wait a minute. That's not Andrew Jackson. So anyway, it's sad, he obviously was so in love. He risked it all just for a moment of affection from this beautiful angel. Now he's in jail. But then again, he had to try, You don't want to live for the rest of your life regretting that you never at least tried. Maybe she would have said, so you feel the same way I do. And then, isn't that nice? Well, it didn't happen that way. No. Well, there's other strippers. Better luck next time when he'll get out eventually. So here's kind of an update on a story I covered before, but, there's another take on this new cosmetic, option for people who want big boobs and butts and stuff, But it involves the dead. Backside from the dead. Women chasing the perfect body are pumping ethically sourced cadaver fat into boobs and butts. They're recycling. Stacy was at the top of her game in poshness and pizzazz, but when it came to cutting a curvy hourglass figure, the svelte New York City siren came in dead last, until she spent nearly $45,000 getting her hips and rear pumped full of a dead person's donated fat. It can sound jarring at first, Stacy, 34, a married financial specialist, told the Post. But when you look at it scientifically, cadaver donor tissue, the bone, skin, and tendons removed from a deceased donor, has been used in medicine for decades. So it's fine. It's fine. As fine as her ass. The Manhattanite, who asked that her name be withheld from publication, except her first name, I guess, or maybe that's a fake name. Anyway, used the harvested human remains for a mini Brazilian butt lift. She also relied on the borrowed goods. Borrowed? They're in there permanently, huh? Anyway, to fill in her hip dips and to revise a botched liposuction job on her inner left thigh. Well, you see, if you'd left well enough alone, but it's highly regulated and ethically sourced. She raved at the donations from the dead. It's like we're recycling. Sure, it's not turning empty soda cans into airplane parts, but giving new life to the fallen's fat is how aloe clay, a glamorous, albeit ghoulish, new advancement in non-surgical cosmetic enhancements, is helping slim centerfolds achieve the boobs and butts of their wildest dreams. And it's different from all the other non-surgical enlargements on the market because, well, it's reliant on people who've kicked the bucket. If you're suddenly worried that ticking the organ donor box on your driver's license could mean you wind up on someone else's butt. It's not that simple. The fat can come from full-body donations, which are handled in the Empire State by the Associated Medical Schools of New York, which requires a separate no limitations sign-up. So what? It's just New Yorkers got to worry about ending up in the hereafter living in someone else's ass? Donors must be over the age of 18, devoid of specific medical conditions such as a transmittable disease, and have not undergone an autopsy. Okay. Jeez, looks like she had a lot of fat of her own in these comparison shots, but I guess you got to use someone's dead fat. Anyway, Darren Smith, the board-certified plastic surgeon who performed Stacy's procedures with Aloclay, explained that the injectable functions as an over-the-shelf fat graft. Wow, pretty soon you can just go to Walgreens and get fat injected in your butt and you're good. Anyway, it's a tremendous asset for patients who are pretty lean, fit, and don't have a lot of fat of their own, Smith told the Post, adding that the shot comes as a minimally invasive alternative to going under the knife. I get a lot of liposuction revision requests from people who underwent the surgery at other practices, said the doc, president of the New York Regional Society of Plastic Surgeons. Aloclay is awesome for those two, because the last thing those patients want is more liposuction, which got them in the fix they're in anyway, to harvest fat to fix an area with divots. So I don't know, I guess that's the divot in this picture here, and it looks like it kind of just flattened it out. But, there's some butt cheeks there, some cheekage. At least it's just not going inward anymore, But the product isn't useful only for naturally thin women and butchered bombshells. It's also in demand among folks who recently shed tons of weight from using popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro. A lot of the patients coming in for the breast augmentations and mini BBLs, the Brazilian butt lift, with Aloclay are people that lost a lot of the fatty volume, maybe in places they didn't want to lose it, from Ozempic and related medications. Oh, see, there's a picture of a divot in the thigh with a big circle drawn around it so you'll see it and notice it more. Otherwise, I don't know. I probably would never have known. But she noticed. That's the problem, see? So anyway, they put some fat in there and it smoothed out. See? That's how it works. Aloclay from Tiger Aesthetics, a tissue engineering company, is the first structural adipose tissue designed for aesthetic body procedures, providing cushioning, volume, and support. Sterilized and stripped of the donor's DNA. That way you won't start thinking like them, And the filler retains the innate 3D honeycomb structure of the adipocytes, cells that store energy as fat to provide immediate volume at the application site. The company does not specify where exactly the fat they use comes from. Representatives from Tiger Aesthetics did not immediately respond to the Post's inquiries about the production, cadaver screening process, or rising popularity of Aloclay, which hit the market last year. Yeah, there's going to be problems down the road. There'll be lawsuits, so, just get ready for that. Now, everyone from the upper echelon of the Upper East Side to reality TV VIPs like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star Taylor Frankie Paul is scrambling to get a jab of the specialized flab. Because nothing says Mormonism like fat injections. Good Lord, I'm looking at the size of the needle. Holy crap. They want that in their ass. Anyway, Stacy got her first hit of the stuff in June, and she couldn't get enough when she rushed to Smith's Manhattan office seeking help with a shark bite size. Oh, okay. She didn't get a shark bite. It's a shark bite size hole in her thigh caused by a lipo gone wrong operation done by another doctor in September 2019. Yeah, again, couldn't you just left well enough alone? At the time, she opted to have the excess fat from her leg transferred into her face for added volume. All right, you got a serious problem. This is a form of body dysphoria. I know gender dysphoria gets all the headlines these days, but this is another form of it. You know, you're like Michael Jackson. You know, sooner or later you're going to saw your own nose off. But the bungled extraction ended up being a great big pain in the neck. Sounds like it was a, yeah. I was left with this giant dent in my inner thigh, and I spent the next 6 years and roughly $80,000 trying to fix it with more liposuction, she groaned. Nothing could fix it. It turned me into a recluse. I wouldn't wear shorts, go swimming anymore, work out. He probably made it worse. It's called suction. At least here you're injecting fat into the spot. But once you suck it out, sucking it more won't, you know. Alaclay was my very, very last resort, said Stacy, who was immediately skeptical of the viability of the substance at first. It is remarkable. Yeah, but she'd try anything because it's what she does. After the product worked its macabre magic on her leg and hips last summer, the millennial returned to Smith for more butt lifts in October, of course, because she's going to be doing this for the rest of her life because she's addicted. That's what it is. And the doctor's like, whatever, money in my bank. It's considered a mini-op due to the small amount of filler added to the butt. Smith applied just 50 cc's of Alaclay to each side of her butt. For traditional Brazilian butt lifts, doctors typically add between 300 to 500 cc's of fat to the area. And Stacy plans to add a few more pumps of Alaclay to her rump next month. Well, sure. Yeah. I used to get bullied for not having any butt whatsoever. Now I'm getting checked out like crazy. My husband's like, whoa, you can't go anywhere without me now. Katrina Daphne, a married mother of two, is also keeping heads on a swivel nowadays. She recently ditched her barely there 32A cups for 32B cup bazooms, getting a pair of Motiva breast implants and several cc's of Alaclay in November, wanting a natural and supple finish. The Pilates instructor entrusted Dr. Anna Steve of 19 Plastic Surgery to round out her new embellishments with the liquid gold that's derived from the dead. It's a grim detail Daphne often reminds herself to forget. I have chosen not to think about it, the 38-year-old chuckled, referring to the creepiness of using fat from an anonymous cadaver source. Dr. Anna explained that Alaclay would give me the best results, and she was so right, added Daphne, gushing over the unparalleled confidence she's gained since boosting her boobs. But the surge in self-esteem didn't come cheap. It's like having a Birkin bag on my chest, Daphne joked, likening the cost of her augmentation with Alaclay to that of the haute couture carry-all, which comes with price tags exceeding $35,000. It's a similar investment, she said. Not really. Men aren't going to look at your stupid purse, but they'll look at your tits. Yeah. But Steve said the payoff is worth the pretty penny. We like to call Alaclay fat with benefits, the board-certified insider told the Post. It's different than your own body fat because it comes with different structural components. Your own body's fat doesn't have much structure. So the product is an awesome option for breast augmentation patients who don't necessarily want implants, but do want some structure there. Once administered, Alaclay functions similarly to the natural body fat. Thus, if a patient gains or loses weight over time, the results from the injectable will change. But the doctor said patients can have it done multiple times. If you like the effects, you can always add more. And recovery time is minimal, like it is with Botox or fillers, said Steve, noting that patients are cleared to resume everyday activities, except for strenuous exercise the same day. Even combined with minimally invasive breast enhancement techniques, recovery time is rapid, she said. With traditional below-muscle breast augmentation, surgeons often encourage 6 weeks of downtime, noting that it will take around 6 months to a year for the breasts to take their final shape. Alaclay depends on our ability to use implants over the muscle and create really nice, natural-looking results. Daphne is in complete agreement. Alaclay really made a big difference in softening the lines around the implants and just giving me that fullness without that fake look, she said of the Altier ooze. The results outweigh any creepiness. Well, let's hope her husband enjoys the results, because otherwise, it's, it's his money. But anyway, again, it's not the same thing as getting an expensive handbag, because men don't look at that shit. A bag's a bag. They'll have a stroke when you tell them what the price is, especially when it's their money. But when you've got those fun bags sitting there, oh, he's going to see it. That's what matters. It is. And after all that, no super tips. I even have the image tip up thing. You could have sent a picture and stuff and had fun. What are you going to do? So now I can't afford any fat injections. Oh, well. Paramidicevin, yikes. Sorry, I didn't catch it in time to know which story, but it would apply to quite a few. So, D-Rec 30. I have seen this dude, an Adonis Paul. On Adonis Paul? Not familiar. D-Rec a couple of weeks ago. All right. Susan, about $60 more, and they could have gotten her on grand larceny. Susan Dolan, can we all say huge lawsuits are coming over wrong baby? Well, yeah, it is. That's what it is, Oh, they're going to pay. They're going to pay out the wazoo to that couple. Susan Dola, the Florida guy would be a Disney World employee. Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, why not? I wonder if he would rip off Disney there, too, to go pay for the stripper to, I don't know, get her some crap from Disney World with Mickey Mouse on it. Whatever, it's all sad, he wanted love, and I guess he was looking for love in all the wrong places and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, there you go. Late Night with Adonis Paul. Yeah, I don't know who that is. And, so maybe the guy was on it. I don't know which guy. The guy buying candy for the stripper with counterfeit money? Oh, what are the odds? So anyway, maybe he learned a powerful lesson. That's not how you find love. Probably not, though. He'll do it again. There's plenty of strippers. I'm sure this one wasn't anything special. At least was for him for a little bit. Not anymore. So once he gets out, he'll go back and there'll be some, maybe not that place, because they're going to be like, no, don't come in here with your fake money. He's like, So then he'll have to go to another, probably out of town, because I don't know, the club's probably spread that around. I don't know. Anyway, it's all very sad. It's terrible. You hate to see a broken heart and stuff. But anyway, there you go. You're all caught up on Nailsin News. You know, found out about don't take pictures of Snow Meow. He doesn't like that. It really pisses him off. There's, if you're cheating on your sugar daddy husband, don't leave your crotchless panties on the floor and the anal lube and all that. He's going to notice that. I don't know. Oh, yeah, and if your sugar daddy's a big deal politician, maybe not film the sex, unless, of course, you intend to blackmail him, which I guess was the deal. Although she says he was trying. I still don't know. That story doesn't really explain itself entirely. But, yeah, they don't like each other anymore. And I guess that's sad, too. Was there ever any affection or love there? Yeah, I don't know. But, so there's that. There's still the option of injecting fat in your ass from a corpse that might make your butt hotter and your boobs if you're into that. I did that. One woman was complaining she took fat from her thigh and injected it into her face. So I wonder how it didn't seem to have any complaints about it. So I guess she wanted, I don't know, bigger cheeks or something. And then now she wants other big cheeks. So maybe they'll be injecting the dead fat into people's faces too. And stuff. Holy crap. I mean, you really got to want a big ass. Yeah, to some extent, but still. Yeah. The living dead fat. And sometimes horror movies come true, I guess, in some way. Yeah, anyway, so what else? That's about it, Crazy bitch chopped the guy's head off. And we did have a teacher scandal, school principal, but she didn't have sex with any of the kids. She didn't do that. So that kind of, she's a better teacher or principal than most. She just stole a bunch of stuff from Walmart. So there is that. So that's something. And they got to at least think, oh, thank God. There's no videos or pictures. There's no text messages of her with the students. No. She just stole shit from Walmart. Well, we still got to report it, though. Yeah. And suspend her and all that. So we're going to be out of an assistant principal for a while, but wasn't really doing all that much anyway. So they'll probably be all right. So anyway, there we go. I hope you had fun. And we'll do it again soon, I guess. Have a good rest of your night, morning, whatever the situation may be. And thanks for watching.
Nailsin News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News.
And now for the weather from Trixie Turner.
It's freezing cold.